Hi, welcome at Lucky Bastard channel. Today I will take a look at Challengers, the sequel, Beach Cup. And if you haven't heard about this game, that would be a little bit strange, because it won the Kennerspiel des Jahres, which means as much as it won the best expert game of last year. And expert, you should take that a little bit loosely, because it's not a very complex game, but there are a lot of possibilities in this game and a lot of text on the card, so I think that's why it's chosen as the Kennerspiel and not the regular Spiel. Anything that is good enough to win a prize will probably eventually get a sequel, and we didn't have to wait long for this one. So today I will take a look at the new components, the new rules and the new additions of the game, which overall make the game a lot more tactical than the first one. If you'll watch till the end, you can also discover a few of the new characters and the effects they have on each other, because I will show you a few examples, but I will not show all of them because I don't want to spoil everything, of course. So let's take a look. First of all, let's take a look at the components in the new box of Challengers. The card holders are purple this time, the playing mats are beach themed and they have different colors than in the first game, and so do the colors of the tournament schemes change. So what are the differences? The flag tokens are made out of plastic instead of wood. I don't know if you prefer that or not, I don't mind. An important change, we have again the same starting deck, but the dog is a different dog than it used to be in the regular Challengers, because it has an ability to look at the top card of your deck and you have the decision to put it on top or keep it on top or put it at the bottom of the deck. So that's an interesting new effect. The other ones, they don't have any effects, they gained nothing, but there are, if you have both Challengers, there are enough dogs to replace the old dogs in the previous one. So that's a nice addition that they thought of that, I guess. And we have also, maybe you're not interested in that, if you're playing solo, we have the standard guys, but also we have new solo characters. But the main thing here is of course the new teams that they are working around. So we have University, the Beach Club, we have the Fairy Tale Forest, we have the Toy Shop, we have the Secret Base, and we have the Mountains. Additionally, just like we have the city cards in the first game, we have the rainbow cards here, and they count, they have a rainbow symbol, but they count as any symbol. So if a card gets a bonus because of the symbol, well, the rainbow people, they always get it. So this one you should always include, and then, like the regular game, you should exclude one of the 6 teams for every game, and for the first game it is advised to exclude the fairy tales, but I didn't do that because I like the fairy tale theme the most actually, so I got rid of the University for my first game. But yeah, you can pick, it's not mentioned in the rules, but you should be able to combine sets of both the first game and this game and mix and match them as you like. I don't think that should be a problem. Before I take a look at the cards for every set, I will not spoil all of them, but I want to give you an idea what they work around. I also want to mention it's now possible to play a big tournament, plus 8 people, so up to 16 people. But the idea there is that you play just, you split into tables and you play each with an own set of cards. So both tables will have a different set of 5 cards, including then the always available set. But they will have a different set of cards, and actually you're playing both tables separately. When the final comes around, you will play first the semi-final. The first one of one table will fight against the second one of the other table, and vice versa. And the winner of both games, they will move on to the final, and in both games you cannot change anything about your deck. Talking about changing your deck, when you're looking at this tournament card, you see something different than in the first game. This has changed, and also included there are changed cards for the base game. So now in the first round you can immediately start with 3 A cards instead of 2. I think it's confusing at first because people that haven't played it are confused next that you can only have 2 or 1. But it jump starts the game, so I think it's a nice change to improve the start of the game. Next round, you can already choose a B card, but if you don't, you can pick 2 A cards and you get 2 points. So normally you can only start taking B cards from the 3rd round. And that's still an option, 2A or 1B, next to A or 2B, nothing has changed there. But then again, you can pick 2 B cards and 2 points, or 1 C card. And again, so you have the possibility to get 4 C cards, which normally was not an option. So I think this is an improvement, more choices to take. It is of course more interesting if you're already familiar with the game, because otherwise it doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would I take 1 B card if I can take 2 points and 2 A cards? But there are ways to make it more interesting to take B cards. And last but not least, before I go to the abilities of the cards a little bit, we have trainers. And they are, you have to put 1 card in every sleeve. It's a double sleeve. And that seems strange, but once you get a trainer and you have a tournament card, you can combine them like this. So you always know this is mine tournament card and this is my trainer card. So the idea is, depending on the number of players, that you get 2 or 3 cards to choose from. Unless you play the big tournament, you just get a random one. If you want to play the big tournament with a trainer, of course. And they give you a permanent ability or a once per round ability. And that may change your tactics a lot. Let's take a look at this one. The collector. Your closest bench sheet can only hold a single card, which can't be a city or a rainbow card. If there is a card on that sheet, your cards with the same set icon have +1. So if I only collect, let's say for example, secret base cards, and that first pink card goes to the bench, well, all pink cards will now have a +1. Very powerful. Also, all rainbow cards will have a +1 because they count as every icon. But I'm not sure if you have to put them in order. Let's look that up for. So if you have questions about all the trainers' abilities, there is a sheet included to explain how they work, but they are also mentioning all the abilities that are available. So you have 16 powers. I looked into the rules again, and I don't think you have to put them in order. It usually goes that way because that's making sense. But actually with the collector you can pick whichever card you want to put on that first seat. But there can only be 1 person on that seat. So that's interesting. Let's take a look at a few others. The clearer. So this is a once around ability, and when you flip this card, just like that, you can put 1 card with base power 3 or lower from your bench on your exhaust pile. So you can make room. Then we have the chiller. Your closest bench seat can hold different cards up to a combined base power of 5. Cards on this seat are ignored for the rest of the match and cannot be targeted by other effects. So if you have different 1 cards, this is an interesting one to have, but the cards that are there are ignored for the rest of the match and they cannot be targeted by other effects. So they're basically out of the game. The motivator. So it does something during the deck phase. You must remove your champion card permanently. So it's only during the first round that your champion card, your best card, goes out of your deck. But then, during each round, you can flip this card to put 1 level A card from your bench on top of your deck. Early bird, flip this card and look through your deck, choose any card and put it on top of your deck. So that you can do this once a round. The changer, I played with this one during my first game because I like the ability. The start of every match phase, you must put the top card of the A deck on your bench, like that. And you can flip this card during the game to put 1 card with power 4 or lower from your bench on top of your deck. So with the changer, you have 1 less seat available, but you can put 1 low card on top of your deck, so you can use it again, or if it's the first one that you randomly draw. I like this one because you have the ability to get extra cards, but it hurts a little, so that's a interesting payoff then. The Uplifter. Flip this card, your most recently played card has +3 during the attack. The Revitalizer, start of every match phase, you must put the top card of your deck on your exhaust pile, so one card you lose, but you can flip this card to put any card from your exhaust pile on top of your deck. So basically that can be strong, so you can time it whenever you want to return that card, or a different card perhaps. So there are more even, so there are several more, but I won't reveal them all. It's fun to discover them, I think. So let's take a look at the new abilities. Are they interesting? Well, I would say they are a little bit more difficult, because a lot of them don't seem to be interesting if you put them out of the context. For example, this card, the zombie card, during the attack this has +1 for each card in your exhaust pile. Well, that's not very interesting. In the base game you would say this is a useless card, because how often does it happen that a card gets in the exhaust pile? Once in a while. But you have to realize with this deck there are really a lot more abilities that work around the exhaust pile and use it in their advantage. For example, I have these dwarfs from the fairy tale, and they are quite difficult to understand at first. They have a special ability. The special abilities trigger at a certain timing that is described on the card. So you always have to read them, otherwise you don't know when they activate. But when this card would be put on your exhaust pile, put it on top of your deck instead. So this one is interesting, but not the combination, because you want to keep, for the zombies you need the dwarves to stay in the exhaust pile. So the dwarves, they never get exhausted. And if you combine it with a fairy, you can choose one seat off your bench and put all the cards from that seat on your exhaust pile. Well, that's always handy, because you make room for more cards, but if you combine it with the dwarves, and there are 7 of them, of course, then you can put 3 or 4 dwarves back on top of your deck. It's a powerful combo, one I like a lot, so that's why I like to play with the forest, or the fairy tale forest. There are also several cards that work with the removal of cards. Permanent remove some cards from your deck in exchange for a powerful bonus. For example, this one. You may remove, it's not obliged. You may remove a card from your bench permanently. If you do, this card has +4. This could be an interesting payoff, but you're not sure. Also, there are more possibilities to add random cards from the 3 decks, like the karaoke hit. If he doesn't win the flag, so that's also a new one, I guess. I don't think it's in the base game. No flag win instead of flag win. Put the top card from the level B card pile under your deck without looking at it. I like this is interesting, but it only gets interesting once a 4 is not enough to win battle, I would say. So there are several cards like that as well. And then there's something like the puppet. If there is at least one card below it, this card has +2. So it is if you don't win a flag, you would say. Cards like that I think are interesting to combine with. And let's take a look at one level C card that is really extreme, I would say. You have to know almost that this card is included in the game, because it changes a lot. And that is the biggest card you've ever seen, the Zeppelin. It's an 11. It's of course a C card, but there's a catch with this card, because if there is a level C card on your bench, you lose this match immediately. So when you reveal it, if there is already another C card on your bench, and you have more opportunities to add C cards now, well, you lose. So, do you want to take the risk to put several C cards in your deck, including the Zeppelin? You don't want to include several Zeppelins probably, because you automatically lose it, unless you have of course the opportunity to put cards on your exhaust pile. So I've talked about a few cards. I don't want to
talk about them all because once, I don't want to spoil them for you, and second, I haven't played with all the cards. Unlike the base game, which I knew through and through, I want to cherish this because I cannot play this one online yet probably. I want to discover the cards each time I play, and I think you should do the same if you buy this. But I would say it's the better version of Challengers, although if you're new to this, there is a risk of buying this one because the effects are a little bit more complicated. So if your group will not be keen on that, I think you should go for the first Challengers. Otherwise, it's a no-brainer just because and only because of these trainers. Not only because, but they give you just the tactical, interesting start of the game in combination with the jump start cards, the extra opportunities to pick B and C cards. I think it's totally worth it to buy this one, even if you have the first one, at least if you played it enough. So that's my overview, a little bit of a review even of this game, and I hope you like this. You can show your appreciation with a thumbs up, of course. That's about it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.